Hello, my fellow athletic trainers. Um, Congratulations on making it this far through ATR 792A. You're at towards the end of the class, and you have one more assignment due in this class, and that's the reflection paper. This assignment's worth a total of 100 points, and there's a lot of self-reflection in this particular assignment. And so let me get to it. So you'll see that we have 6 sections in this assignment. I do want a title page, and I want you to follow APA. I want you to include section titles. So your first section will be discussing or providing an overview of the practice standards and codes of professional responsibilities that we covered in this semester. This entire section should only be one paragraph, no more than that. I just want a summary of each of the standards codes that we covered this semester. You don't have to do a lot of explanation with this. It's really brief and to the point. Again, one paragraph is only worth 5 points. It's just a way for you to be reminded of what we covered in this semester. So our next section with section title is which practice standard or code do you think is your strength? And remember how I've described a strength. A strength is something that you do naturally well, that you can use your talents, your knowledge, and your experience, and you do it consistently well. It gives you energy. You enjoy doing it. So which of the, again, it could be more than one of the standards or codes. So which ones do you think are your strengths and why? Explain to me why do you think these are your strengths, and then explain to me how can you make steps to continue to improve in these areas. What things can you do to continue to improve? Now, I don't want you to focus on the things you struggle with. That's not a strength. That's not what we're focusing on. Remember, my mindset is I want students to focus on the things that you do well, that are strengths, and develop those things and manage around the areas of weakness. So this section is about 1 page, and it's worth 25 points. In the third section, you'll describe the most significant thing you learned this semester. Now, I really want you to stay focused on what you learned in this class versus some of the things that you learned in some of the other classes you've taken during this semester. But you can include things that you learned about your own clinical skills, maybe going through the practice standards and the codes. You learn some things about your own clinical skills. What are those things? Maybe you included some things that you never expected to learn about your workplace. Maybe a coworker or yourself. I remember a student years past, when they wrote this particular paper, they learned some things about a coworker that really blew them away, and so that was something that student wrote about. So this is pretty wide open in self-reflection again, so you're going to spend about a page on this assignment, and this is worth 25 points. The fourth section is the final courage and calling reflection. So I'm going to scroll down to that assignment description. So in your final reflection page, you're going to discuss this book as a whole, the courage and calling. So what I want you to do is review what you've written in your various assignments that you've turned in with each one of these chapters and the forms. Maybe even review the answers that you posted in the forum too. I want you to get a pretty good picture of the book as a whole. So it's a good way to go back and just review everything you've written about this particular book. And then what I want you to describe in your final courage and calling reflection is what were your main takeaways from this text. So explain to me some things that you really spoke to you, and how this will impact your life. This can be both your personal and or your professional life, or both. So I just want to get you to look at the big picture of the book as a whole. So this final reflection should be between 1 and 2 pages. So let's go back up here. So that's our 4th section of final courage and calling reflection. That's worth 20 points. Your 5th section is just, I want you to describe how completing the professional portfolio assignments in this class has caused you to practice continuous professional learning to further your own professional development so that you are an advocate for the athletic training profession, and how you are a responsive and reflective athletic trainer. So there's a lot of terms in there that I recommend so you'll need to describe what these terms mean so you understand what they mean too. So I recommend that I've provided a link to this particular document. NASP stands for the National Association for Sport and Physical Education. And this document was used to provide a framework for the program student learning objectives for the different graduate programs in the Division of Kinesiology here at Fresno Pacific University. It's geared towards advanced PE graduate programs for individuals who are PE teachers working on a master's degree. It's been modified for our graduate program. So the language up here is actually one of the program student learning outcomes for the Masters of Arts in Athletic Training. So I download this document, read the sections that talk about this kind of language. And what I want you to do is first explain what these terms mean so you can understand them, and then describe how completing the professional portfolio assignments this semester has caused you to practice continual learning, blah, blah, blah. So it's going to take a little bit of brain matter there to do this, but you're graduate students, so you should be able to figure out how to do that. This section is about a page, so a paragraph explaining what the terms mean, and another paragraph on how you satisfied these things by completing a professional portfolio assignment. So this is sort of like the artifact section, where you are providing the artifact and describing how the artifact meets the specific standard or code. So you can think of it, this section, that way. And the final section is I want you to report your number of hours worked as an athletic trainer for weeks 11 through 15. Pretty straightforward. Again, you don't have to describe what you did during those weeks. Again, use Microsoft Word. Follow all the formatting type things that I've been describing, such as use 1-inch margins, blah, 12-point fonts, all that stuff. You should be citing the BOC standards. You should be citing Smith in your courage and calling. So make sure that, and you should be citing the NASP document. And so make sure that you are citing those sources and providing a reference page and following APA. If you have any questions about this particular assignment, as always, post the questions in the Q&A form, and I'll be happy to help you through this. Again, this is your last assignment due at the end of the semester.